Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming, and as you can see, the great rebinding is taking place. Cards Unbound is going away, bye-bye in Paladins, and we're also seeing the bye-bye of another great, wonderful thing in a little bit of a different way. Paladins Battlegrounds will also be leaving the client either tonight or tomorrow. You will no longer be able to play this mode, the free-for-all Royale, but it will be returning, and we'll get to that more. Of course, Hi-Rez Chris, the new kind of executive GM that has taken the reins of Paladins, has made a statement today on Reddit that has really changed a lot of people's minds, not only about Paladins, but about the future of Paladins, the hope of this game, and what it means to play it. And I think this is one of the most important videos and topics that we could have ever talked about. It has been very, very difficult over the past few months to really be in a community that's been divided. And I think this is one thing that everyone can get united on, is that we love the game and the way it was, and we are excited to see it returning to a former state. Now, obviously, this is surprising some people. It kind of comes out of nowhere. Obviously, the launch of Paladins Battlegrounds was just a few days ago. And so to take it away after just a day is one crazy thing that, of course, everyone is getting used to and kind of saying, oh no, I wish the game didn't go, because it was a ton of fun and still is. And don't worry, you will see something around this soon in another capacity. But what I really think is the Cards Unbound thing. If you guys don't know anything about it, basically the idea of being able to level up your cards to improve the values of those cards through purchasing with in-game currency chests that can allow your champion to, in many ways, become stronger than other champions, was a lot of controversy that really didn't feel good for some of the players, and a lot of the players raised an outcry. A lot of the Reddit, the community that's so good at giving a lot of feedback initially, really became a very difficult place to be in for everyone in the community, and it really means everybody. I think even Reddit users at that point found it very hard to see something that was filled with so much love and passion kind of disintegrate into something that was filled with a lot of anger and a lot of resentment and a lot of crap posting, so to speak. I'm not going to say the other version of that because I might get demonetized. But I want to talk about the update that's been released today in terms of Chris's statement. He said he was going to drop the mic. And what's funny is this drop the mic came as a result of the bad art that Reddit was doing. Every single protest tried, every single logical way to discuss this change, that say that they didn't want it, and somehow bad Androxus art ends up getting the deed done. So just let that be a lesson, all protesters in the future. We all need to take a note from the Paladins Reddit here on how to get what you want. The first thing, Cards Unbound. He says, let's start with the elephant in the room. Looking solely at the metrics, Cards Unbound for OB64 was successful in actually increasing player engagement and new user conversion. I know a lot of people, when they were at the Reddit, said that it has kind of hurt the game and that Paladins dead game, that became a meme, and a lot of people kind of pushed that through their own social channels, through whatever it is. But this is the truth, that it actually improved revenue from players, it improved engagement and new user conversion, and from that standpoint it was successful. However, you had to be a blind bat to not see the outcry, the negative outcry that was going on, despite some of the statistics still going in favor of this mode. And I think that's what the biggest issue was. We've always, at Hi-Rez in general, had such a good track record of really working with the community in a great way, and I think that's obviously something that has set us apart from a lot of other companies. And for the last few months, it's felt a little weird, you know? It's felt a little weird. I feel like people said, hey, this isn't usual for us. We usually, you know, are heard. And it felt like there was not a lot of hearing here. So one of the biggest things that Chris says is, we are not blind, we do hear you, and we know that this system has outraged and angered most of our loyal fans and becoming a point of continuous contention in the community and even inside of Hi-Rez. Your voice has been heard loud and clear. We have a team that will be working over the next major release cycle to remove Cards Unbound from the game. That was really, I think people started tearing up at this moment and crying. I think they called their parents and they said, I did it. You know, even during big, you know, I think maybe doctors who play Paladins might have stopped operations midway and said, hold on, I need to take a moment after that, and just really settled with that. We will be replacing it with a new system, Chris continues, that I believe the community will be all really excited about, including the reintroduction of the deck building point system and a method for obtaining cards that will be way less grindy. very, very helpful for people. We want the focal point of the card system in Paladins to be about fun ways to customize your champion to your favorite play style. We also want it to unify the competitive and casual experiences with the card system so that we can use the same system for both. No separation of bound versus unbound. And for me, as a procaster, this was super important. I found myself really playing arcade a lot, and I found it fun, but I also found it very difficult to then split my time then going and trying to play Siege and classic bound Siege versus arcade. And it was very, I think the healthiest thing to happen is to make those communities go back into one, where you can learn the base game, you can learn the high-end game all in one, and be able to just improve your skills in one arena. The queues, obviously a separate thing that was kind of frustrating players. The classic bound Siege queues having difficult times trying to find teammates, and as well as the arcade sieges maybe not having the best kind of distinction between who should be in a match or not. I know all of these things were things I heard people relating to me. And I'm really excited for these queues hopefully going to be something that's together in the future. As he said, the team's removing that, but we're still working out the details of the new system. The rough outline of their current thinking is as follows, and of course, guys, this is subject to some change, but hopefully this communicates the general direction we want to head. That's what Chris says. Legendary cards will now be called talents, so no more legendary cards. Unauthorized scope from Strix, that's a talent now. Talents will only have a single level, so this is back to the original Paladins where it used to be talents are just one thing. Cassie has a legendary called Exaction, and it does this. There's no Exaction 4, Exaction 10. Cards had levels that you could put into them, but they didn't have standard levels, and neither did legendaries, and that is exactly what talents will be now. Talents will be unlocked for free by earning XP and gaining champion levels. So this is something that people talked about a little bit, and I want to just mention that this is still, again, obviously something subject to change, I would imagine, and be tweaked. But the idea is that, from my understanding, you can level up your champion and get those talents unlocked. Now, the biggest thing, I think this can be the biggest stumbling block for this change and for the community as well, but I hope everyone really doesn't go immediately to being negative about this potential and really opens up to the possibilities of the fact that this is just a great thing overall for the game. Yes, there are some champions that really require legendaries to do what they do right now in high-level competitive. Slugshot Ashe, for example, is really the reason that Ashe is successful in competitive and really a valued pick. If that goes away, or if that's the level 15 talent and someone wants to play Ashe, well, someone bans Makoa, bans Torvald, the other one picks Ruckus and Fernando. What are you going to do? You can't play Ashe if you don't have that level 15 legendary. This was a huge point of contention in the past for Paladins pro players, and they did not want to see somebody who jumps in from a game like another hero shooter or any type of FPS and wants to get good with Paladins but not have the legendaries required to compete without a long grind. That's the big thing. The idea around this is that you want to be able to, if you do have to grind, get them quickly in the grind, or have some way for those to be available to the high-level players to practice with in live and also be able to compete with. It wasn't enough really to just give them in a custom game. You had to have them in live so you can play every day, and I understand that as well. So that's my big, I don't know how that's going to be handled, but that's my big thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, some answers, some questions, some ways you might try to look at that. All champion cards will now be free. This is a huge point. A lot of people said revert Unbound and just keep giving us the free cards. And as a free-to-play game for players who don't want to, pay any money or anything like that, I think that's obviously a great thing. If I'm sitting in this position saying, yo, you gave us all this free stuff, let's keep the free stuff. And I think that's a great choice. That's what they plan on doing. And so I'm really happy that people are going to be having access to all the cards. You won't have to unlock them at any point in time. The deck creation will return to a point system where players can distribute 15 points across the 5 cards for their select loadout. Each champion card will have 5 ranks to choose from. So now what you'll be able to do is basically max maybe 1 or 2 of those 5 cards and then have a level 1, 1, and 2 if you want to make up for your other 5, or actually no, level 2, 2, and 1 if you want to do that, and that'll make up 15. Or you can have a level 5, 5, 3, and 1, 1. That's pretty much, if you want to max 3 cards, the way you would be able to do it. Or you can have 4, 4, 4, 2, 2. You could do something like that, right? Or 2, 1, whatever it is. Math, okay? Math. Anyways, you'll be able to kind of customize and take different cards and prioritize different cards based on your playstyle on the map. And I think this gave so much customization to Paladins that people loved, and I'm really glad that's coming back as well. Moving on, Chris continues to talk about some of the changes that will happen. Obviously, talents and decks will be chosen at the beginning to allow people to tailor their playstyles based on their opponents. Talents will be given over time, all stuff that we know. New talents essentially will be added. Champion champion mastery will no longer be capped at 25, and this is big. It's actually going to just keep going. So a lot of people champion 25 Ash. I know a guy in my stream would say, hey, I'm champion, I'm the #1 Ash in the world, I'm level 24. Well, now you don't have to stop at 25, you keep on going. So that's a really cool thing as well, and maybe that will play into some of the legendary cards, or excuse me, the talents that will be introduced, as well as card chests will be removed from the game. So you no longer be able to purchase card chests, because obviously you get all the cards for free, and they're going to have levels that are static, and you can change within your deck creation, not just change for the base level and value of those cards' effectiveness. So you don't need champion cards, right? That's the whole thing. So those are being removed. And now the other big thing is, what do I get? Like, what do I do, guys, you know, in terms of my chests that I've already purchased and things like that? They're looking at the best way to compensate players for this, and that's something that details have not been released on. But there's a dev in sight at 1 p.m. on Thursday, I believe, Eastern Time. For those watching, that's tomorrow if you're watching this video tonight when it's released on my channel. So make sure to check that out, because I'm sure they'll be answering questions. I'm sure it will be more in detail about the plan as it's being rapidly, you know, thrown out to the community. And really, people are excited and catching on to it. Of course, the release plan to start testing all of this is as soon as we can on PTS. And one of the things that I want to continue to support and say I love is the fact that we had a great PTS cycle for Battlegrounds. I think the participation from Battlegrounds was awesome. We saw so many players playing it. We saw so many players getting excited about it. And also, we had a long time. And I think that made Battlegrounds a really fun experience. Now, it didn't get a lot of hype. The Steam charts were pretty relatively average. And I think that's okay. I think that's fine. But when you did play it, and I think the people who did play it and the Paladins members, they loved the experience. And so let's get on to Battlegrounds, because that is going away and maybe transforming a little bit. Ooh, some sneaks. A lot of people said, yo, where is Battlegrounds going? What? This is kind of bittersweet. I love the game. Obviously, it was an alpha test, guys, and things obviously change whenever that happens. And we appreciate everyone. I'm sure the communication was that. We appreciate everybody really checking in and spending some time working on it. The release for Battlegrounds was honestly one of the more fun things that I think I've dove into in terms of gaming in a while, but they're pulling it away in a very short time. And I think that after seeing all the work the map has done, the work the players have put into it and the devs have worked into it, it's a shame and a sad thing for me to see it go, but I'm really excited for what the future holds. The notes that he basically says is that they're removing the alpha version from the core game of Paladins effective tomorrow. So this is your last night literally to play the mode. It will be gone tomorrow. But over the next few weeks, we're going to make a number of aggressive changes to that mode based on internal testing. We think it will make considerably more engaging and fun. Our code name for these changes inside the studio has been YOLO, if that gives you any indication of what lies ahead. Hopefully you will enjoy them as much as we have in our initial testing. Now, I've played YOLO. I'm not going to say anything about it except it's damn fun, and honestly, I am a big proponent of it. So if that gives you confidence, I hope it does, you should be excited for when the new news on that comes to the foreground. However, can't say anything more now. When the mode is re-released, Chris continues, it will be in a separate game client under a different name. And boy, oh boy, is that a problem, right? Because no, it's not. A lot of people would start saying, yo, oh my God, they're changing this, they're changing that. Guys, this is not an issue. This is not a problem. This is a separate team. This is not the main Paladins team working on this game. People saying, you know, they're taking the resources away. But a lot of people saying, you know what, I feel really good about this now being very different and doing its own thing. And I think when you look at the overall health of both games, this needed to happen. Why make the change? He answers it right now. In short, we think that things that are necessary to make Paladins Battlegrounds great and amazing are in conflict with the things that will make the OG version of Paladins that we all know and love great. Basically, they're at an odds. Right now, we are in a spot where the changes we need to make to each mode are in conflict with what the other mode needs. We think that having separate team focus on the separate games will produce a greater result. Like I said, two separate teams are not taking all Paladins resources and moving it. If someone's told you that, that's not true. We also don't want users to be confused about what Paladins is and should be. Paladins should be the best damn hero shooter ever made, and we want the Paladins team focused on that goal. We'll aim to do the same with the Battle Royale game and the team working on that. And I think this is a beautiful thing, and I love the direction Chris has really helped solidify for the community and for the game and for everyone working in the Paladin scene, myself included as a caster. I was very excited about Battlegrounds, but whoa, is this different, and is this a different pace for when you go in and play Paladins? It is a different game, no doubt about it, and that's what makes it beautiful and so cool as a Paladins player. But I know that if I'm involved in esports, if I'm loving that, what I really need to do is figure out where am I spending my time. If I go into Battlegrounds and then I try to play a Siege match, I'm having a very different experience, and I'm not sure if that pacing matches up, and I think that was the big call. It's that if you're looking for this experience, maybe you're just looking for something outside of the best damn hero shooter that you could play. And if you are, then let's make that the best damn game experience that we can, versus trying to make a half great hero shooter, half great Paladins Battlegrounds managed by the same team. So I love the way that this is being kind of cornered off, and I think this is going to be great for the health of this game, which already showed in its one-day release so much potential fun, and also for the Paladins game, which is obviously a great game that we've all loved, and I think is going to really outlast us all. People just play it. I love it. It's addictive. I'll never stop playing Paladins, I don't think. If you missed it in the patch notes show, obviously, and you don't know who Chris is, he's been at high risk for such a long time and really been a great leader in Smite, and is trying to bring those things to the Paladins design team, which already has a lot of great leadership that I feel doesn't get enough credit for all the great things that they do. I think ensuring that listening to PC and console players equally, improving the art quality of the game, releasing high quality updates and quality of life issues, and listening to community and being transparent while addressing those concerns, all big things that Chris wants to tick for this year, as well as never losing focus on what makes the game great. I think that's the big thing. The focus on the core game experience and the community for the competitive hero shooter that we love is what makes our game great. And that's what I think Chris really honed in on with these changes. He kind of ends the statement talking about the future, like I just mentioned, with 2018. He wants to add more fun content exploration events like Smite has done for the year. So maybe that's a hint at adventures. Maybe that's a hint at a PvE mode. Maybe that's a hint. I don't know what that's a hint at, but it could be something really awesome. So stay tuned for all that stuff. But he mentions that they made great strides with Smite over the years while he was focusing on those team's goals. And he thinks that we can catapult Paladins to the next level doing the same here. He believes the changes detailed above will move us positively, and he also wants to make an experience as fun as possible for players. And thank you again for sticking with us and being so passionate about the game. Before he forgets, he says, and this is good if you're a fan of the Reddit, he really says he's been enjoying the art that you all have been producing and posting on the Paladins subreddit, and it's inspired us. And for me, that's why I wanted to show that OB64 Paladins art that hopefully is on the thumbnail of this video. I haven't made the thumbnail yet. I make my videos, then I make the thumbnail, but I'm hoping to put it on. So if you do see it, then that's why I wanted to do it, because I thought it was very funny. And he said we should maybe do a community vote and see if we can get some of the best art pieces into our game as sprays. This has been a pretty meteoric, historic moment for us in Paladins if you've gone through the ups and downs of these changes in OB64 and now. And so I think that I would like to christen this moment, so to speak, with some of the art that you guys have made. You guys think that's a cool idea? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what you guys think about all of that as best you can. As a thought, guys, to finish things off, I just want to personally say that this has not been the easiest thing as a content creator. This has not been the easiest thing as someone who works at Hi-Rez in the esports department. It's not been the easiest thing as just a person. There's been a lot of different directions our community is headed after being so cohesive and so clear about the support that we've had for one another. And I felt that there's been a difficult time that we've gone through as a community. And hopefully, coming out of this will make us all stronger. Hopefully, this makes us all better at what we do, which is being fun-loving people who enjoy ourselves playing one of the best games we've ever played. And hopefully it allows us to appreciate what this community already is, the specialness that this community adds to our game, and what these people who work here add to our game. And I'm so excited to see this come to the fruition of what it already has in terms of the first day of people feeling good and tweeting positive things, and the Reddit getting excited, and everyone in the community feeling that things are looking up and up. And I'm really excited to see where that takes us, because as somebody who lives and breathes positivity, I've dealt with some negative things, but I just want to let you guys know that we all stuck through it. We all got through this. We all stayed in and believed. And those who left, if you want to come back, you're welcome. And if those who never left but threatened to leave and pretended to leave, well, thank God that you still actually stay, because now you guys can go ahead with confidence that we are listening. We are ready to take your feedback. We are excited about the future of this game, and we are doing everything we can to polish it, to make it the best it can be, and honestly, to make the best gaming experience for everyone involved. I really appreciate you all watching. I'm almost sad that this may be one of my last Battlegrounds videos, at least in this form, but I'm excited to see what the future holds. Make sure to catch the Dev Insight, and thanks so much for listening, guys. As always, friends, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.